it's like a page and a half of the last part of this chapter.
Yep.
You can see his confidence rising, his understanding of the situation rising, the way that he can bend the conversations at his discretion to benefit him. I really enjoyed this last little sequence.
Yep, Sam buffs himself up. He's like, I have to. I'm a man of the Night's Watch. I'm a man. I can do this.
Man.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. Reading A Storm of Swords for the last couple times. As always, I'm your host, Zach, sitting here with me, my brother, Nate. Y'all, we're going to get into it today.
I guess so. Zach's throwing heat at me
We're reading
before.
Samwell. What number Samwell
5.
is? Samwell 5. And this is Sam's last chapter of the batch. So, prepare for that. We will be discussing all things congruent in the series currently to date at this time.
To our knowledge, because we forgot a lot of shit too, so we might not even be able to spoil
No,
it.
we're going through literally everything. We're laying it all out. We have to cover everything, or this episode doesn't end. I'm kidding. I worked nearly a 10-hour day today. That ain't fucking happening. I ain't got time for it, nor do I have patience to sit in a room that long with Nate. So the clock's ticking anyway. We got to wrap this shit up. It is a brand new year. Happy, the year of our Lord 2026. Is that it? Is that what we're in?
Sure is. See, right there.
Oh, yeah. Technology.
Computers have the date down at the bottom right, if you guys didn't know.
Analog bullshit desktop ones,
Just right there. Just right there.
Fucking get with the times. Go mobile.
You have a smartphone. Look at that. It tells you the time and date, too.
It sure doesn't. It just says Thursday, January 1st.
Fucking hell.
I don't see no 2020 nothing.
This lazy son of a bitch. Last episode, we were reading Tyrion. It was Tyrion's last chapter. He's on a boat.
Motherfucker, don't you ever forget.
That's right. And I think that's all I've got to say about that.
That's dumb. Tyrion was broken out by his older brother.
Sure.
We were proved unequivocally, once and for all, that older brothers are shit. They are assholes who lie and scheme and manipulate and are just generally assholes, and they deserve for it to be on site. And so it is now on site between Tyrion and Jaime, because Jaime revealed the Tysha secret, which is that Tysha was actually just, a person, and not, so are sex workers, but she was not the whore that was hired and, deceiving Tyrion for money and all that fun stuff.
Not all the bullshit Tywin said to tell that Jaime was forced to say.
They snuck through scary, creepy Magor tunnels under the Red Keep and under the Tower of the Hand, and then Varys was like, "Oh, we just conveniently are happening to pass under where your father sleeps, and so if you want to go up there and do a murder real quick, we got time."
But instead, he did a double murder.
Fuck yeah! Why homicide when you can double homicide?
Right. Choked out Shay. Put a quarrel into his daddy's tummy while he shat.
Poor stuttering Professor Quirrell.
Okay, that too.
He put that right into Tywin's
right in them.
groin.
And then he took off.
He bounced.
Left. He's on his way east.
Into Legend is where he's on his way to.
But we are reading Sam, as mentioned before.
Yeah, Sam's last chapter.
Sam 5.
Last we left Sam. The wall. The wall is getting political. Let's get political. Because there's a cunt from King's Landing who wants to be Lord Commander for some reason, and Alistair Thorne is like, hey, let's make this cunt my proxy, and he'll take the fall for everything stupid that I want him to do.
Zach, like I said, had some harsh words about this. I enjoyed the fuck out of this chapter.
I enjoyed it.
For a number of reasons, and I think it's a spectacular final chapter for a character.
I think for it being his final chapter, it sure is a lot about someone else.
Yeah, so I also think that it's really well placed in the fact that it comes right after Tyrion, because I think specifically in this chapter that Sam is very much the new Tyrion, the
Oh, shit.
the
Shit.
flipped coin, you know, almost if like a coin was flipped for each Targaryen. You have the mad one, then you have the moral one, and that's Sam. Tyrion's fucking Tyrion still.
So Tyrion's a hidden Targaryen. That's what
Of
you're
course,
saying?
yes, he's the third head. But this is the chapter where finally Sam, after 4 whole chapters, this entire book, realizes that he's embracing the Sam the Slayer, and not necessarily the Slayer title, but the fact that he is respected, that his opinion means something, and that he's intelligent and can back his words with facts and reasoning. And then on top of that, learned that, I'm kind of good at playing this little game here, this little Game of Thrones.
He's the little Samwell who could.
Yeah.
It also helps that he's name-dropping Aemon everywhere he goes,
Right.
but...
Love that.
So, this one opens with the king being angry, and Sam picks up on that at once, as Stannis had made basically all of those in contending for the Lord Commander position come and kneel before him, and as a power play, he kind of keeps them on their knees for a little longer than necessary, which, like, alright, Stannis, I'm pretty cool with you. I know a lot of people aren't, and, like, you got some issues. But you're making Aemon kneel for a really long fucking time.
Yeah, man.
And I'm kind of taking issue with that. Like, I get it. I get you want to do the, like, oh, I'm the king here, regardless of which one of you is in command. I don't... But, like, let Aemon fucking just keep standing. He doesn't need to go down. He does, though, and Sam ends up having to help him. Melisandre is also here, but she's just looking amused as all hell, which, like, even she's privy to, like, oh, yeah, Stannis is making you all kneel like little bitches.
I like that Sam is like, why am I here? What the hell do you need me here for?
I shouldn't be here.
And at most, he probably thinks because I'm Aemon's steward, and so I'm here to aid him and keep him from falling downstairs and shit. And but I think it was that he was called out by name. Samwell Tarly, you're also to make sure you're with Aemon. Make sure you come along.
Samwell freaks out when Mel looks at him, which I just think is funny. Don't look at me, because she, scares him like she scares everybody. And when Stannis finally tells everyone to rise, he gives Aemon his shoulder. Janos Slynt immediately starts trying to suck Stannis' dick.
Right, yep.
And Stannis ain't having it.
I love it. Stannis gives Janos Slynt so much shit for the first half of this chapter that it's just fucking delicious. I love it.
Yeah, it's like Janos forgot that Stannis served in King's Landing on Robert's council. Like, and then forgot who the fuck Stannis Baratheon is.
I mean, for sure, I think he definitely... I don't know if he forgot who Stannis Baratheon is. I mean, he acts like he does. I think it is a lot of he forgot that Stannis was on that small council prior to his little power trip tornado that he got caught up in when Cersei and Joffrey were running around giving him all sorts of shit.
Even the angle he's trying, the singers will sing of your victory over the savages. Like,
the singers.
When the fuck has Stannis B-Wrath ever given a fuck what the singers have to say?
He's not Rhaegar Targaryen.
And so I do think Janos kind of forgot who the fuck it is that he's talking to. He's not Robert Baratheon. He's not Renly Baratheon. This is Stannis motherfucking Baratheon. And so you're barking not even like up the wrong tree. You're barking at a fucking cat right now, Janos, and it just isn't happening. And so yes, I very much so also took a lot of pleasure in Stannis just being like, the singers can do what they like. Spare me your fawning, Janos. It's not going to serve you. And then he gets to his real point, which is that he's very displeased that they haven't chosen a Lord Commander yet.
Hurry up.
Bowen Marsh is like, no one's achieved the 2/3 of the vote yet, and it's only been 2 days. And Stannis is like, that's 9 days too long.
10 days.
We got 10 days. That's 9 days too long. We got shit to do. There's shit to do. And
so I was gonna say, you said 2 days. It's been 9 days too long. Fuck. We should have known a week before it. Fucking
10 days, right?
Good
It's
God.
been 10 days, 9 days too long. Which, as we know, these can go on for a while. It's like choosing a pope. They take their sweet ass time.
Love Ed's presence here because it's, again, Pip threw his name in just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't pick me. I've been telling everybody, don't pick me. Why am I here? And that's all you're going to get from him this whole chapter. Like, I'll probably be the last one. Everybody else will be dead.
Yeah,
I'll
he
still
gives
be
off
stuck.
like Eeyore vibes.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of chimes in to just be like, as long as they don't choose me. And so I'm here for it. Yeah, Janos tries to be like, oh, perhaps the king should have a voice in this decision, which pisses off all the rest of the...
Right, the actual Night's Watch brothers,
Right.
not this new upstart fucking lord.
And Stannis even says, like, it's not my wish to fuck with your rights and traditions, but as to the royal guidance, Janos, if you mean for me to tell your brothers that it ought to be you, at least have the balls to say so. And then Bowen Marsh kind of backs Janos, where he's like, who better to lead the Black Cloaks than someone who led the Gold? And that's when Stannis is like, anyone, I should think, even the cook.
Anyone.
Even the cook. Janos was hardly the first Gold Cloak to ever take a bribe, I grant you, but he may have been the first commander to fatten his purse by selling places and promotions. By the end, he must have had half the officers in the City Watch paying him part of their wages. Isn't that so, Janos? And Janos is, of course, fucking goes purple and
Yeah,
rages.
I really like Stannis giving us these little flashbacks to small councils before all the shit hit the fan, where he's going to talk about how Robert was like, oh, he's just let him go.
The thief,
Whatever. We know this little slime ball. He's easier to deal with. Let's just deal with
Yeah,
that.
we learn of a little plot that occurred where two men were prepared to come forward and speak against Janos Slynt's bullshit, but they died suddenly on their rounds.
Huh.
And he's like, don't trifle with me. I saw the proof Lord Aaron brought to council. And so he says, if I were king, you would have lost more than just your office, I promise you. But Robert shrugged away all your little lapses. They all steal, he said. Better the thief we know than the one we don't. And he's like, that was definitely Littlefinger's words in my brother's mouth, to be sure. And so I like that Stannis immediately is like, yeah, no, the small council and the bullshit.
We all knew the bullshit you were
machinations
pulling.
of little, like in that you were on Littlefinger's protection payroll. Like you survived by Littlefinger's grace.
Right, you
even.
think we all weren't aware of the fact that you were doing, like, you got lucky, that's all.
Of course, Janos is pissed, but it's Aemon who's like, your grace, unfortunately for this fucking toad, a man's previous transgressions and crimes are wiped clean when they come to the wall. And he's like, yeah, I know. And so if Janos here is the best you all have to offer, I'll grit my teeth and bear it, but...
Right, like, I don't care at this point. What I'm telling you is I don't care who is chosen. Just fucking choose.
You need to choose.
If I have to deal with Janos, then I'll deal with Janos. But makes a decision. Just pick someone.
We have a war to fight, and that's where Dennis Mallister is like, well, if you're talking about the wildlings, and Stannis is like, I'm not, and I'm not, so let's not even fuck around with that. And
which, again, causes an outburst with the, what's his name? One of the other ones is, we can't help you with your War of the Thrones.
We can't help crown you.
That's
and
not
help
our...
you.
Our thing.
And he says, I know your history. It's Sir Dennis Mallister who says that. And I give you my word, I won't ask you to lift your swords against any of the rebels and usurpers who hope to plague me. I do expect you to continue to defend the wall as you always have. And this is where Cotter Pyke says, we'll defend the wall to the last man. And Ed is like, yeah, probably me. I'll be the last man. Which, Ed, I feel you.
And this is where Stannis says, no, what I actually want from you is the gift and all your castles.
Not all.
Almost all. I don't want the East Watch, the Night Fort, or Castle Black.
I really
or
like
the Shadow Tower. He does want the Night Fort.
Phrasing here. Those blunt words burst among the Black brothers like a pot of wildfire tossed it onto a brazier. Like, goddamn.
I was going to say it as well. Yeah, he just threw a pot of water into the deep fryer. Like, I excuse the fuck out of you.
Yeah, you really
What?
couldn't ask for more than what the watch can offer at this point, especially with the gift. And they go over that, the gift was given to the Night's Watch in perpetuity. And so Stannis says, which means it can't be lawfully seized, detained, or taken from you, but it can be given willingly.
Really liked that Stannis was like, listen, I've got the men. I can take these things from you. I would like to do this by the books, and I can't do it legally seizing it. There's no thing that says that you can't re-gift the gift. Like, hey, you don't like this fucking present, just hand it off to somebody.
Or like,
you're not using
the bullshit.
It. Like, give me
King
that.
Stannis saved us from the wildlings, so in return we want to gift him the gift. And
the end, right.
He's asked what he would do with it, and he says, make better use of it than you have, and the castles, Eastwatch, Castle Black, and the Shadow Tower will remain yours. Garrison them as you always have. But I must take the others for my garrisons if we're to hold the wall. And so, all in all, it's not a terrible idea. Stannis means to garrison the other empty and
fix them up,
forts.
Fill them. And it's that, I think that they're not quite grasping is he wants to hold the wall.
Right.
That's not the fight for the throne. While, yes, he wants to go win the throne so that he can help support. He is now technically working on the great battle.
And Melisandre's great concern is fighting the great other, which is the Whites, the Wildling, or the White Walkers. And so, yeah, I mean, his vision is to the north. And so, yeah, they discuss, the castle, the abandoned castles are scarce more than ruins, but he, rebukes that with they can be rebuilt. And he says, that's who will rebuild them is my concern. I'd require a list from you detailing the present state of every castle and what might be required to restore them.
See, that I think that's a poor little argument that he, was it Bowen Marsh that threw that out?
Otho Yarwick, the first builder, who, of course, is concerned about building stuff.
He has made it clear that he's not garrison your shit how you will, do what you will. I'm going to rebuild these. Well, how are you going to do that? Who's going to do it for you? Well, I have my people. Like, I've already told you that I can take all of your shit.
He's worried about the conscripting of the Night's Watch into even more work than they have. But I do think it's slightly alarming because Otho asks him, who will do the work? And Stannis says, that is my concern, and then says he needs a list. I think Stannis is meaning the wildlings will be doing the slaves. Yes. He's going to enslave them pretty much, conscript them into building for him. And so it's not great, but
I wasn't thinking slaves more as,
prisoners, hostages.
If they get let through the wall and are allowed to populate the gift,
they have to kneel to him.
It's
to
a
do
line,
that.
like it's Dany. It's mirroring what Dany's doing over in all these other places where.
Well, she's not forcing them to kneel to her.
I mean,
Stannis is.
She's forcing the masters, and while they are slave masters, sure.
Fuck the Nazis.
Right. It's very similar though, and so if he's letting them in down past the wall,
I don't think that's similar. Good. Comparing Dany and Stannis here for me, I don't think holds ground because Dany isn't asking anything from the people she's freeing. Stannis absolutely is. It's if you want to pass through the wall for safety from the White Walkers, you have to kneel to me.
I mean, I would argue that with her forcing out slavery, again, not that I think slavery's good.
Right, yeah.
In Slaver's Bay, you have the ones that are, you get the ones that are, well, can I go back into slavery because I can't live this way.
We know no other way.
And so it is forcing them out of what their culture and tradition at that point, horrible, toxic culture, but what it is, over here it's very similar. It's you guys worship these old gods and they're savages. Come be civil and worship a real god, and then you can come and join in on our party. It's adjacent, not parallel. Adjacent. There's similarities here.
The people in Marine want a job.
Stannis is much less monstrous. He's going to be a better person about this because Dany is a fucking wild woman. She's going to burn down cities. She's going to melt people that disagree.
Wow, so you're not going with Stannis is burning his daughter this time.
So that's where I think, again, they're so paralleled there. They're both going to be burning children.
At least not in this regard, though. To me, this is pure tit for tat with Stannis. It's if you want to cross the wall and live in our protection, you need to recognize me as your one true king and kneel. And that is completely against what the wildlings and the free folk believe in. They don't kneel. That's their whole thing. But he says, I mean to have all these castles garrisoned again within the year, and night fires burning before their gates. So the religious, hokum pokum. And both Bowen Marsh is like, night fires, and looks right to Melisandre, and he's like, we light night fires now? And she's like, you absolutely do.
I on this one, I'm a little surprised at, like, the Night's Watch at this point knows that fire is a deterrent to the Whites and the White Walkers.
I think it's the word night fires, where it's her chanting and singing, and because they've been seeing it here at Castle Black.
Yeah, I guess with the
it's her praising Rolor and shit.
Because I definitely think it's crazy to not think that you should have fires lit across 100%. The top of the wall at the castles you're garrisoning.
It's the night fires that is the, like, oh, you mean like they're Rolor's fires.
Right,
they're religious fires. And this is where Melisandre joins. She rose in a swirl of scarlet silk.
I love her theatrics.
Dude,
when she's fucking talking.
I'm obsessed with
this.
You
best listen, because she is so much fun.
She says, swords alone cannot hold this darkness back. I mean, fact. Only the light of the Lord can do that. Make no mistake, good sirs, valiant brothers, the war we've come to fight is no petty squabble over lands and honors. Ours is a war for life itself, and should we fail, the world dies with us.
I want her and Old Nan to get together and just have a vibe.
She is Old Nan. Like, what are you talking about?
I guess that's true. She's probably Old Nan's, like, master.
Right, Old Nan had to, like, bounce out because Ramsay came and fucked shit up, so she's like, oh, let me just put on my other persona
just
throw
quick.
Throw on
my necklace quick.
Yeah. So the officers don't know how to take that. Sam can see. Bowen Marsh and Othel Yorwick are kind of looking doubtful. Janos is pissed. Three Finger Hob looks like he's bored and wants to go back to cooking. But Aemon is the one who speaks up, and he's like, oh, you're talking about the War for the Dawn. But where's the prince who was promised, my lady?
Where's he at?
And then, of course, Melisandre's like, he's before you. You do not have the eyes to see him, though. Stannis Baratheon, Azor Ahai. Yeah, she's a bitch.
I do enjoy Aemon talking about it, especially with Rhaegar's involvement in...
Especially with him talking late in just a few about how he misses books most of all. Like, he's a red motherfucker. He knows these legends. He knows these tales. So yeah, he knows what you're speaking, Melisandre. And so, yeah, Stannis is Azor Ahai. He bears Lightbringer, the red sword of heroes. The comet blazed across the sky to herald his coming. And everyone gets uncomfortable at this. And even Stannis seems very uncomfortable at this. And says, you called, I came. Now you must live with me or die with me. And get used to that. And he dismisses them all, but asks Aemon and Samwell Tarly to stay behind a moment.
Yeah. Hold up. I don't talk to you for
and
a minute.
Sam pulls an Ed here. He's like, me? Why me?
But why me?
And Stannis says, you're the one that killed the creature in the snow, yes? And Sam the Slayer, Melisandre, calls him with a smile. And he's like, no, your grace, my lady. Yes, I mean, I'm Samwell Tarly. I'm Sam.
Yeah, he keeps, as usual, he's giving all the credit to the Dragonglass, not the wielder of the knife. Guns don't kill people. People kill people, Sam. So
Stannis
you killed the White.
Reverts back to his kind of lordly dipshit self here, where he's like, I know your father. He
fought well.
He's an able soldier.
Right. He won the battle there.
Right. Mace Tyrell claims the victory, but actually he's the one who slew Lord Catherine with the great Valyrian sword and sent his head to Ares. You're not the sort of son I would expect him to have. And Sam's like, yeah, I'm not the sort of son he expected to have. So
yeah, and then he even throws out the, though, you'd make a good hostage. Aemon's like, dude, fucking
he
come
took
on.
The black.
He's cleared of all. He's like, I'm aware of other things too there. Aemon Targaryen.
Only Aemon, sire. Like I literally just said, like all of that goes away when we take the black.
And as a Maester of the Citadel, we lose our name. Like when I put my chains on, I'm no longer Targaryen.
Stannis goes back to, you slew this creature with an obsidian dagger, and Sam's like, yeah, your grace, Jon Snow gave it to me.
Cool, we've got that at Dragonstone.
Well, Melisandre says, dragonglass, and it says, the red woman's laugh was music. Frozen fire in the tongue of old Valyria, such one small wonder it is anathema to those cold children of the other. And so Melisandre is immediately like, I love it.
Yeah.
And then, on Dragonstone, season 7 of Game of Thrones did something right. On Dragonstone, there is much of this obsidian in the old tunnels beneath the mountain, chunks of it, boulders, ledges. The great part of it was black, as I recall, but there was some green, some red, even purple. And he means to send word to Sir Roland to begin mining it, though he fears that the castle won't be his much longer. So
right. You think there's anything in the colors differences, or you think that's just because it's cool as fuck?
No, the colors threw me.
It makes me wonder if the Morning Star, Arthur Dayne, what was Arthur Dayne's sword there? Dawn. With the
Dawn is said to be made from a comet.
I know, I get that, and so I'm just wondering if it wasn't a mistaken, different colored blade that was actually dragonglass, and so who knows?
We know that there's a lot of red folded into ice.
This is actually where the Power Rangers found their morphers, so we need to get all the teens from 5 teens. I mean,
that's like not even a theory or anything. That's just fact that's known. No, it just makes me think of like Valyrian steel and the way they have like colors folded into the steel. Ice had red folded into it.
I like that it's just a very different. I think that. I don't think there's different magical properties or anything. I think it's just about the coloration, and that's pretty fucking sick. One quote that I did like that I took a note of was their description, because Sam, their talk about the White Walkers and Whites leads Melisandre saying, these only work against the White Walkers. Right. They're not just like regular undead that are created through necromancy. So we get the school of magic fucking named, necromancy itself. But then they say that the White Walkers are demons made of snow and ice and cold. And I just really, really like, because I think it's Stannis that said that he had produced a demon baby with Melisandre. And so he's somewhat aware of these magics and the shit that can fucking occur. The shit that can fucking lots of cusses there. I really enjoyed that description of the White Walkers and how haunting they are in the books, especially versus because the shows, sure, they look cool, whatever. They're haunting in the books. Their presence, the way that we see them is in flashes and darting, and it's just a horrifying thing. And now we get Stannis, the motherfucking Lightbringer Manus, going on about how they're monsters. These are the depths of evil, fucking demons writ true in our world.
They're the ancient enemy, the only enemy that matters. Which, like, there you go. You got it. Then he asks Sam, I'm told you and this wildling girl passed beneath the wall through some magic gate. And Sam's like, yeah, the Black Gate beneath the Night Fort. And Stannis is like, the Night Fort's where I intend to make my seat while I fight this war. So you'll show me this gate. And Sam's like, I will. And thinks, like, if it will open for you. I don't think it will, because you're not a man of the Night's Watch. And Stannis is like, you will, and I'll tell you when. And so this is where Aemon smiles and is like, hey, before we go, can I see your blade?
Let's see Lightbringer, bro. Let's see it.
Stannis throws mad shade, and he's like, you want to see Lightbringer? A blind man wants to see? See? And Aemon's like, I get it. Sam will be my eyes. And so Stannis is like, sure, everyone else has. Why not whip it out? So he does. He gets his scabbard from a peg near the hearth and takes the belt down, draws the long sword out.
Sam describes it to him. Little glowy blade.
Martin is particular to describe that steel scrapes against wood and leather, and then the radiance fills the solar, shimmering, shifting, a dance of gold and orange and red light, all the bright colors of fire. And yeah, Sam describes it. No flames, but the steel is yellow and red and orange, flashing and glimmering like sunlight on water. And Maester Aemon's like, I do see it. So lovely to behold, and thanks them for it. Stannis puts the sword away, and the room seems to grow dark despite the sunlight, and tells them that they may return to their duties and remember what he said. The brothers will choose a Lord Commander tonight, or he shall make them wish they had. And Aemon and Sam leave, and Aemon is lost in thought. But as they're crossing the yard, Aemon's like, Sam,
You want to know something cool?
I didn't feel no heat, did you?
They're full of shit.
Did you feel any heat from that sword? And Sam's like, heat from the sword? It shimmered the way heat does above a half
He's like,
brazier.
yeah, but you know as well as I do that was a leather scabbard. There was no burn marks,
Leather
right?
and wood.
And wood, no scratches, didn't smell of burn, didn't smell of fire, didn't look like burny stuff. I think they're full of shit.
Aemon, back in his chamber, complains that it's hard to be old and harder to be blind. He misses the sun and books. He misses books most of all. And then says he'll have no more need of Sam until the choosing. And this is where Sam is like, isn't there something you could do? What the king said about Janos? And Aemon's like, Sam, I'm a maester chained and sworn. My duty is to counsel the Lord Commander, whoever that might be. It's not proper for me to be seen favoring one contender over the other. And Sam's like, well, what about me? Could I do something? And Aemon's like, I don't know, Sam.
Aemon slaps his hand to his face and is like, finally, holy shit, dude.
It's the teacher of like, can I go to the bathroom? I don't know, can you? May I go to the bathroom? You may.
You may.
And it's that. And like, I don't know. Can you do something, Sam? May I do something, Maester? You may. If you want.
If that's what you want to do. Yeah, I kind of like this. It's a very choppy rest of the chapter, the way that Sam kind of starts bouncing all over the place.
Yep.
This one really does remind me, though, like I mentioned at the start, of the Tyrion hat trick chapter from way back when.
Yep.
Where it's this, initially he's nervous, he's worried, which we've seen before from his last chapter when he had brought up these conversations happening to his friends, and they were like, dude, it's supposed to be you. This is him being, you could see how tentative he is here still. And over, it's like a page and a half of the last part of this chapter.
Yep.
You can see his confidence rising, his understanding of the situation rising, the way that he can bend the conversations at his discretion to benefit him. I really enjoyed this last little sequence.
Yep, Sam buffs himself up. He's like, I have to. I'm a man of the Night's Watch. I'm a man. I can do this.
Man. And he goes and visits Cotter Pyke.
So he goes to Cotter Pyke because Cotter Pyke is the scarier of the two. So he goes to him first while his courage is still hot. Again, I like the still hot based on the conversation about the sword, Lightbringer, that we just had. There was no heat, but Sam's got some fucking heat. And so he goes to Cotter Pyke. Cotter is with his Eastwatch men. They're dicing, but he tells them all to leave when Sam is asking for some words.
So this right here is the first, again, a lot of it's skipped over at the beginning part by Sam himself. And because he immediately thinks about how Cotter Pyke greets him when they leave with, hey, Sam the Slayer. And he's like, fuck me. And did you really slay the White there? Giving him a hard time. But to me, that's more of like a giving a fellow brother a hard time. It's a chirp. It's just fucking with you. I don't actually.
Chirp. Nate's been watching a lot of Letterkenny,
sure.
So it's a chirp.
He's talking some shit, but not having any actual problem there.
If this was way back when Sam was first here, this would be much worse, much more harsh. What's up, fat boy piggy?
Right.
What are you doing here? You should be down in the kitchens. It's a Sam the Slayer. Are you sure you didn't just stab some wildling child snowman?
So that he completely glosses over the fact that Sam goes, hey, can I talk to you, Cotter? And Cotter's like, guys, clear out. I need to chat. He emptied the room, gave you the time of day, got his guys away so that you could have a private conversation. Yeah, he gave you a little fucking
Well, also,
nudge.
because Sam immediately is like, it was the dragon glass that killed it. And he says, I no doubt. And so, there is some, questioning of Sam's ability. And then he says, did the Maester send you? So I do think that it's more Aemon's clout than Sam's that Cotter Pyke is clearing out the room for. It's Aemon has something important to tell me and sent Sam, so the rest of you get out type of thing. I don't think it's all respect for Sam quite yet.
I agree.
And so Sam's like, the Maester, which immediately kind of gives him the idea of right, let me leverage that. because I didn't think to do that.
Right.
But he says, I just left him, like, which is his way of kind of saying, like, this is from Aemon,
Right.
but it's not.
I clearly wouldn't be here if Aemon didn't send me, but he's, again, and we saw it with Stannis. It's almost like Sam kind of absorbed that. There was a point where Stannis, it says, let all the guys speak when they outraged at him.
Yeah.
They all were shouting, and it says Stannis let all three men finish what they were saying. He didn't acknowledge anything they were saying or respond to it, and Sam's kind of doing that. Let them fill in their own responses and come to their own conclusions. And so if he wants to believe that Aemon sent me and these words are from him, and he lays it out for him, I want you to support Dennis Mallister. I want you to withdraw, put all your aid there. And he's like...
Well, Pyke cuts him off, because Sam launches into his plea. Pyke cut him off before he said 20 words, and basically Pyke is the one who lays it out, where he's like, you want me to kneel down and kiss the hem of Mallister's cloak, is that it? You lordlings all flock like sheep. Tell Aemon he wasted your breath and my time. If anyone withdraws, it should be Mallister. He's too old for the job. Maybe you ought to go tell him that. We choose him, and we're like to be back here in a year choosing someone else. And Sam's like, well, he's old, but he's got experience. And they kind of go back and forth like this, but he's kind of letting Pyke get out all of his frustrations and doubts about it. You know, he's good at experienced at sitting in a tower fussing over maps. But what good does his plans do? Write letters to the whites. He's a knight well and good, but not a fighter. And I don't give a kettle of piss who he unhorsed in some fool's tourney 50 years ago. How fun. And he says, you know, you think Mallister has the belly to stand up to Stannis Baratheon and that red bitch? I don't. And Sam's like, so you won't support him. And he says, no, I won't. Understand this. I don't want the bloody job, and I never did. But I'll be buggered with a hot sword before I turn the Night's Watch over to that preening eagle from the Shadow Tower, and you can run back to the old man and tell him I said so. Now, get out of my sight. And so, I do like that both of them do the, like, I don't want the job, but if I have to.
Right.
And
it's
so,
showing bullshit. Like, you wouldn't be so pushy.
Sam asks, what if there was someone else? Could you support someone else? And immediately he goes to Bowen Marsh. That man counts spoons. Othel's a follower, does what he's told.
He counts spoons.
Slynt, well, his men like him, I'll grant you, and it'd almost be worth it to stick him down the royal craw and see if Stannis gagged, but no, there's too much King's Landing in that one. Who does that leave? Hobb? You could pick him, I suppose, only then who's going to boil your mutton, Slayer? And you look like a man who likes his mutton. And so Sam leaves, pretty defeated with this, and thinks that he'll do better with Sir Dennis Mallister. And as he walks through, he's thinking that Sir Dennis is a knight, highborn, well-spoken. He always treated Sam courteously. And so...
yeah, I think this is kind of where he's going to start leveraging what he just had go on with Cotter Pyke into this conversation with Mallister, and kind of take this as the opportunity to start evolving the strategy, because he basically comes at him in the same way. I want you to pull your support, put it all towards Cotter Pyke. This is why you're good. This is why he's bad. And he keeps rambling on until it finally kind of clicks over, because he's way more respectful with it. With the, well, you know, Aemon wanted me to come and chat with you, but Aemon can't come and chat with you. And he's like, so that's why you're here, because Aemon can't chat with me.
Right.
And so, again, allowing him to believe that these are the words of
Mallister even kind of wink. He's like, Sam, Aemon and I are both old men. We know how this works. Like, I get it. So say what you need to say. And, like, winks at him with the, like, I get how this game is played. And then he even says, I agree it'd be a dark day in our history if a king were to name our Lord Commander, this king especially, since he's not like to keep his crown for long. Oof. But he says it ought to be Pyke who withdraws. I have more support than he does, and I'm better suited to the office. And Sam agrees with him, but says Cotter Pyke might serve, you know, he's battle-hardened, and
Right, he has some good characteristics, some good qualities. So, what do you think?
But Mallister persists by saying that battle is not enough. Some matters can't be settled with a battle axe. Maester Aemon will understand that, though Cotter Pyke does not. The Lord Commander of the Night's Watch is a lord first and foremost, and must be able to treat with other lords and kings as well. And so, not inaccurate
A little
points.
hoity-toity, though.
Yeah, of course. And that he then goes on about how special his birth was,
right,
and how many men he's unhorsed, and how many, how early he was trained, and when he was knighted, and when he squired, and birthed this, birthright that, yada yada.
Yeah, and so it's kind of after hearing all this boasting and bullshit that Sam again steps up one more, because it starts to occur to him, this motherfucker's not gonna back that guy. And so he mentions, here's the issue, bro. Stannis was heard saying that if we don't pick somebody, he's gonna give it to somebody. He's gonna name them tomorrow. So we have tonight to pick. If you don't want to back Cotter Pyke, what if I throw out another option? And he's like, fucking who?
Well, right, because Mallister is much more, he's open to this, because he says, I've stepped aside before. I stepped aside at Mormont's. I stepped aside before him with Corgyle. I have stepped aside, so who would it be, though?
He goes, well, somebody that Mormont trusted. Somebody that Halfhand trusted. Someone that Maester Aemon trusts.
Donald Noy trusted.
Donald Noy gave him the fucking wall, bro.
And then Sam is smart. He praises him. He's not as highly born as you, but he does come from old blood. He was castle born, castle raised. He's learned sword and lance from a knight and letters from a maester. His father was a lord, his brother a king. So all of the things that Dennis Mallister just went through of he needs to know how to talk to a lord, he needs to know how to talk to a king. I was castle born, I was castle raised, I trained with lance, I learned my letters. Jon Snow fits all of those.
So yeah,
and Sam doesn't even have to say the name, and Dennis Mallister is like, mayhaps.
All right.
Okay. He's young, but mayhaps.
Sure. And so Sam, he tells him he'll think on it. I'll think about this. Let me think on this shit. Sam decides, cool, I need to go. And this is where he finally clicks, where he's like, dude, that wasn't so bad, actually. That wasn't too hard. And on his way to Cotter is like, I can do this. I don't know why I was scared to talk to Cotter in the first place.
Yeah, he does the what have I done? What have I done? Because he doubles down on the lie by telling Mallister, Stannis is going to pick for us tonight if we don't. And I heard him tell that to Aemon. And that gives Mallister where he's like, all right, I need to think about it for a minute, but, thank you. And then as he's leaving, Sam's like, oh, shit, I just outright lied about it. What have I done? And then he's like, what are they going to do? Send me to the wall? The fuck?
Right.
And so it suddenly all seems absurd. How could he be so frightened of Cotter Pyke and Sir Dennis Mallister when he had seen a raven eating Small Paul's face? And
there you go,
boom,
Sam.
now Sam's got courage. So he goes back to Pyke, and Pyke
he's like, listen,
Pyke is kind of pissed.
Right.
He's like, you again? And he's like, I only need a moment.
He's like, listen, I didn't want to say this before. I was trying to give you the opportunity. But
hey,
if one of you two doesn't win, which isn't going to happen, Stannis, he said he's going to cut off your dick and make Mallister the Lord Commander.
He doesn't say that. He's like, you said you wouldn't withdraw for Dennis, but you might for someone else. And Pyke is like, who? You, Slayer? And he's like, no, a fighter. Donald Noy gave him the wall. When the wildling came, he was the old bear squire.
Again, he's doing to Cotter what he just did with Dennis.
Yeah.
All these qualities that Cotter Pyke was saying Mallister was lacking. Too old, can't fight, no actual experience besides tourneys.
And leverages, he's like, the only thing, though, he's bastard born. And that makes Pyke laugh, where he's like, man, that would piss off Mallister, wouldn't it? That he's bastard born and not some knightly holier than thou. And he's like, it might be worth it just for that. And how bad could the boy be? I'm better, though, which is exactly what Mallister said. I'd be the better choice than Jon Snow, for sure. And Sam's like,
that.
Of course
this fool,
you would.
Me, I'm a fool and I can see that.
Well, I shouldn't be saying this, but if we don't pick, Stannis is gonna, and none of us want that, right? And so, yeah, that's where the chapter ends. That's Sam's. It is Sam. It is Sam's last chapter here, y'all.
Yeah.
Not Jon Snow's.
Well, and so I mentioned because the first half of the chapter, 3/4 of the chapter, had nothing to do with Jon Snow or mention of him. It was only that one little back and forth with the
right. It was Stannis'
the
chapter
couple.
before then.
I like the placement of this chapter because, like I said, the way it parallels Tyrion when Tyrion arrived at King's Landing.
Yeah,
when
in his
he
prime,
was all
Tyrion
feeling
prime.
high and mighty.
Yep.
And then to roll into, because Sam only had 5 chapters this whole book.
It's wild.
I don't think that he needs a lot of page time, screen time, because then we get plenty of him in the next Jon chapter, the final Jon chapter, where they're actually naming Jon as Lord Commander. And it's showing all the culmination of it's been back and forth with those two, where we had a Sam chapter, and then a Jon chapter, and then a Sam chapter, and now we're going back into a Jon's final chapter. We had discussed the last time we read Jon that was the first time we've had 2 point of view characters together.
Yeah.
That's why we don't need as much Sam in a Sam chapter, is because we're going to get all the Sam we need in the Jon chapter, and so we can afford to get tons of Stannis and Aemon and Cotter Pyke, because it was showing these little steps and growth of Sam, so that way we can see the culmination of it in Jon's next chapter. Fucking love it.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Fucking
I'll
sick.
see how I feel about it once I read, I guess, Sam Part 2 in Jon's.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I do like this chapter a lot. It surprises me as Sam's final chapter, where it does show a lot of growth from Sam. You're absolutely right on that. But it is a lot about other men's decisions. And so Sam makes a few decisions of his own here. Sure, he chooses to act and to influence the
That's
choosing.
what I think is the important thing.
I mean, it is for Sam, but it's in the scheme of this book and some of the other decisions we've made, it's just, to me, it feels like an interesting, not bad, I'm not disappointed in the chapter. It's just an interesting last chapter for Samwell Tarly. I would just be curious in the alternate universe what it would be like if we just switched these two, where if we got the choosing from Sam's, we get Jon's next chapter from Sam's POV, and we get whatever the fuck Jon's doing now.
I think we would get everything we just got.
Well, like, would we though? It would be more of a surprise, where it would be, we wouldn't learn about Sam doing the scheming. We'd be with Jon out moping in the yard, being like, oh, I don't get to do stuff. And then it would be the choosing, where it'd be Sam kind of sitting there all smug and be like, yeah, no, I'm not worried about a goddamn thing. And it'd be like, why, Sam? Why are you just straight chilling right now? And then it'd be the like, boom, it's Jon Snow. And then it could be the like, oh yeah, in flashback, I went and talked to Dennis Mallister. I went and talked to Cotter Pyke, and I pulled the fucking strings because I'm Sam the motherfucking Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Do we want to see it as a flashback or in real time? Or, like, it's...
It would feel almost like it would have more oomph to me, because then we would get to see the effect before
I would say as a rereader, not that Martin was necessarily vague in any way there, but he never did come out right and Jon, let's back Jon. And so I think the pretend, oh no, this is a reveal. Clearly this is a reveal. For us, it's crystal clear and obvious.
Yeah.
It's possible that first time readers don't think, oh, Jon, of course.
Ooh.
I mean, sure. But that also not having the context of how he's going to take it, if either of them is going to go through with supporting Jon. I mean, again, it's fairly clear, but technically both of them are thinking about it.
Right, now they're confirmed of like, yeah, I will.
And so, yeah, I think it's that. Would you rather have gotten it as a flashback, or would you rather just see it play out in this short, quick, fun chapter.
Well, I mean, flashback was just me throwing it out. Like, it would be Sam ruminating on the day's events of, like, here's
flashback is
record scratch. Yep, it's me, Sam. You're probably wondering how I ended up in
It's more like
position.
the Arya chapters where we're here now, but for the last 2 days, me and the Hound were doing this, and then we had this occur, and back now, though, we're sitting by the fire. But
the thing I like the most is the parallel between it's both Jon and Sam standing before Stannis with these odd positions of respect.
That's where I was going to go next.
Where Stannis is kind of like, you're Randy Tarley.
Randy Tarley.
You're Randy Tarley's son, but you're not quite the son I'd expect. Whereas with Jon Snow, it's like, you are Eddard Stark's son. That makes sense to me. But
I like that he's sitting here
Slayer.
telling Sam, you're not what I would expect, but he's still being called by name for some task.
You slew another. You passed through the magic gate. You have info that I want and need.
And so it's that, and still, all the way, even up to and through those conversations, Sam didn't think any better of himself.
No, Sam
he still
was
thought
being
an
idiot.
Felt like a piece of shit.
Fucking doing the Dolores
and not
Ed.
realizing he was doing the Ed, right? Why me? Why am I here? Why am I You're standing, dude. You're standing before a king and
you're gonna have the
wizard.
wall at the end of the fucking books,
right?
Like, Mr. Oh, why I can't be Lord Commander. You're gonna be Lord Commander. You're gonna be the 1000th. So like, fucking get used to it, bud. And the same with Samwell Tarly. You are treating with a king because you have the knowledge, the know-how, the courage, the spine, the backbone, the wit, the fucking all of it to be treating with a king. And especially treating with a king discussing the great other, the great war, the war for the dawn, all of this shit that's coming because you were on the Fist of the First Men. You saw the first wave of whites and others and undead and necromancy coming. It's literally smacking us in the face with that of Sam being like, oh, why am I here treating with a king? Because you have more right than pretty much any other man in this room to do so.
Right.
So, and it's the same thing with Jon on the wall of like, oh, why are you talking to me? And like,
because you've done some unbelievable fucking things.
And so that's a fun parallel. I just think it was a very interesting place for Sam's last chapter. I don't dislike it. I don't love it either. It's similar to the Stranger Things finale. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of it is what it is, and I accept that. I'm very excited for Jon's final chapter. It feels like a prelude to that, and so, yeah, that's my thought. That's all I got to say about that.
That's Sam's final chapter. So if you have anything you would like to say about that final chapter, if you want to tell Zach how bad his opinions were on it.
Oh, my God.
You can send us an email, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Big ol'
dumbass.
Well, what else are you going to say about our socials?
Our socials, we don't have them. We don't do them anymore.
Right, and so what do we follow that up with?
Reach out to the email.
And the YouTube and the Spotify. Comment on those as much as you can, because that's the only other spot that we have correspondence.
How uppity he is.
When you're just bad at your job. I guess not your job. You're good at your job. When
great
you're bad
at
at
my job.
podcasting,
that's all. Your job is the socials and all that bullshit. I don't do that shit.
Yeah, you never have.
Right.
It's been a burden on me, folks.
Oh my God.
I have to do everything around here. Everything. Like and subscribe on our stuff. We appreciate it. Rate and review. That's even more appreciated. I guess it's the same appreciation level, but appreciated nonetheless.
He values some of you more than others, just so you know. That's the guy you're dealing with. That's the guy I'm dealing with.
He's just mad because he's at the bottom of that value list. You all are higher than Zach.
Yeah.
Way higher. And
You
he's
sure
upset
are.
about that.
I'm not.
I can see the tears welling in his eyes.
No
They're
tears.
glistening.
The tears are because
It's
I'm
okay,
tired.
baby brother.
I worked a long day.
I had the day off.
And then I had to come and sit with you for, what has it been? It's been about an hour and 5 minutes. Too long.
Technically, only like 50 minutes has been for this episode, folks. So if he's throwing out times that don't make sense to you...
He's then going to cut some bullshit and manipulate it for a cold open and make me say some horrid shit. So
once again, though, I'm the one that has to do everything.
Oh my
so
God.
I have to... Anyway, let us know if you have anything fun to say or add. We will be next reading Jon's final chapter, Jon 12. That's followed up by Sansa and then the epilogue. So 3 chapters left if we include the epilogue as a chapter? Does that count
Why
as
would
a
we
chapter?
not include the epilogue as a chapter?
I don't
Hold
know if
the
it's
fucking phone.
called a chapter. Is an epilogue separate? Like, is that actually like there's chapter? Because otherwise it would be numbered, right? Every chapter's numbered, and then it goes into the epilogue.
Scream.
So is that a separate chapter in itself, or is that the epilogue?
It's a chapter.
Well, I just wanted clarification on that.
I'm gonna scream.
End
this episode before I scream. I'm gonna do it.
He's gonna do it.
We'll
catch you on the next one. Valor to Harris.
Peace!